Hi everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. If you haven't learned how to complete the square yet, please look at the video link below. So at the end of this video we'll be able to solve equations like 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 equals to 0 using completing the square. To start, we'll start with a simpler example. Let's start with example 1. X squared minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. Now we already know how to solve this using normal factorization. This would be two numbers that times to get you 3 and add to get you negative 4. So that would be negative 3 and negative 1. So it'll be x minus 3, x minus 1 equals to 0, x equals to 3 and 1. So that's how we use it using factorization. But how would we do this using completing the square? So first thing we're going to do is complete the square on this. So to do that, we're going to halve the negative 4, so it becomes minus 2. Square it, so it becomes a 4. Add the negative on there, and then drop that plus 3 down. So then we have x minus 2 squared minus 1 equals to 0. Now I'm going to go through two different ways to solve this equation. So let's go through method 1 first. So method 1 is by factorizing. So what we're going to do is go x minus 2 squared minus, instead of writing 1, we're going to write 1 as a squared. So it's 1 can be written as 1 squared equals to 0. Now this is actually in the form of a squared minus b squared, which becomes a minus b, a plus b. So our a term is x minus 2 and b equals to 1. So we can rewrite this as a plus b and a minus b equals to 0. So once again, this is a plus b, a minus b. Then if we simplify this, this becomes x minus 1, x minus 3 equals to 0. And then we can use null factor law to get x minus 1 equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. So x equals to 1 or positive 3. So that's method 1. And let me show you method 2. This is my personal favorite. So this is method 2. And what we're going to do is actually solve the equation. So we start with x minus 2 squared minus 1 equals to 0. We're going to move that 1 to the other side. So it becomes x minus 2 squared equals to 1. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to square root both sides. So square root x minus 2 squared becomes x minus 2. And the square root of 1 becomes plus or minus 1. Right? To make that a bit clearer, it's we plus or minus square root of 1, which is plus or minus 1. So just write that here. We're going to square root. And then we get x, if we bring the negative to the other side, becomes positive 2. So positive 2 plus or minus 1. That's 2 plus 1, which is 3, and 2 minus 1, which is 1. And there are two answers. So that's example 1. Let's go with example 2. Let's go with something slightly harder. X squared minus 2x minus 1 equals to 0. We'll start this off in the same way. We're going to write our x bracket here. We're going to divide the negative 2 by 1, so it becomes minus 1. Square it becomes 1. Add the minus, and then drop the other minus 1 down as well. Equals to 0. That's x minus 1 squared minus 2 equals to 0. Notice that in this case, we actually don't have a perfect square as we did in the previous example. So if we want to use method 1, what we're going to have to do is make a square root squared. So we're going to rewrite this as x minus 1 squared minus square root 2 squared equals to 0. Now again we have the form a squared minus b squared. So all we have to do is write a plus b, a minus b equals to 0. Then we can use null factor law, plus root 2 equals to 0, or x minus 1 minus root 2 equals to 0. So therefore x equals to 1 minus root 2, or x equals to 1 plus root 2. Using method 2, we have x minus 1 squared minus 2 equals to 0. We're going to bring that 2 to the other side, so equals to 2. Square root both sides, so it becomes x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus square root 2. And then bring the 1 over to the other side, so it's 1 plus or minus square root 2. So that's 1 plus root 2, or 1 minus root 2. You might start to see that method 2 is actually a lot faster than method 1. It can actually be more straightforward too. We're going to do one last example. So this is the example I showed at the start. This is, let's solve 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 equals to 0. Now, we shouldn't generally have to use completing the square to solve this. We could use quadratic formula, for example. But if we were to use completing the square, the first thing we would do is factorize the 3 out. So it becomes 3x squared minus 5 on 3x minus 2 on 3 equals to 0. Now a little tip is, now just when we're completing the square, what we can actually do is we can divide both sides by 3. And what that does is it cancels the 3's out, and then 0 divided by 3 on the right is actually just equal to 0. So I can rewrite this equation just like that. From there, now I need to complete the square, so I can go x bracket squared. Half of negative 5/3 is negative 5/6. I square that, becomes 25 on 36. Add the minus in there, and then drop that negative 2/3 down. I'm going to make a common denominator on the 36, so that means I need to times 2/3 by 12 over 12. So this becomes minus 25 on 36 minus 24 on 36 equals to 0. Combining those two together gets me 49 on 36 equals to 0. If you've noticed now, 49 on 36 are both perfect squares. So I can actually rewrite this as minus 7 on 6 squared. So I've now got the form of a squared minus b squared. So this becomes a plus b and a minus b equals to 0. Negative 5/6 plus 7/6 is equal to 2/6, which is 1/3. And negative 5/6 minus 7/6 is equal to 12/6, which is minus 2, equals to 0. So x equals to negative 1/3 or 2. I'll also show this last one using method 2 as well. So this was method 1 here. Method 1. Using method 2, we'll have x minus 5 on 6 squared equals to 49 on 36. We're going to square root both sides, so it becomes plus or minus 7 over 6. So then x equals to 5/6 plus or minus 7/6, which will get you 5 on 6 plus 7 on 6, which is 2, and 5 on 6 minus 7 on 6, which is negative 1/3. Okay, so that's it. So that's how you solve quadratic equations using completing the square. If you like this video, please let me know below and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.